drew out the rug for me. Just asking for something. He drew out the rug for me. I was hurt and abused. When I was bleeding, you cut me deeper. You didn't see me, you only saw what I could give. I was broken and I forgot who I am. Someone say this is not you. I wanted out, but I didn't know. I didn't know. I didn't know. I didn't know what to come out. And that is the truth, Lord. I want none of it. I didn't know I lost I was. So this is the link right here. If you follow that link, you can join the live by clicking. You can join the live by clicking on the link right underneath the live. That's how you can join the live. Today we're going to talk about the major visa problem in Barbados that the St. Lucia government been hiding. But I got to get to the spirit. He drew out the rug for me. Just asking for something. He drew out the rug for me. I was hurt and abused. When I was bleeding, you cut me deeper. I heard the spirit. You didn't see me, you only saw what I could give. I was broken and I forgot who I am. Someone say this is not you. I wanted out, but I didn't know. I didn't know. I didn't know. I didn't know what to come out. And that is the truth, Lord. I want none of it. I didn't know. I didn't know how lost I was. And every day I remember how you always were. It's Africa comes up to me. You tell my head and restore my soul, God. You always run for me. It's Africa comes up to me. You tell my head and restore my life. I didn't know. I didn't know. I didn't know what I could mind. We're about to get live. Wait for people to come. When I look in the mirror, I can tell the things. I'm not going to get too big on me. I didn't even look like that. My future stands here. The way it's losing, but I look deeper into the stranger, imposter, living my life. And I didn't know how lost I was. A string on a bed that with no control of what it was. It's who I am, but it's not who I am. Because I am lost in a jail with a lot of limitations. If I come back to me, tell my head and restore my soul, God. I should be honest for me. If I come back to me, tell my head and restore my life. I didn't know. I didn't know. I didn't know what I could mind. I didn't know. I didn't know. I didn't know what I could mind. I know that I'm never alone. In the midst of the darkness, where God is with me. And it's all the else sometimes. I know that I'm never alone. In the midst of the darkness, where God is with me. When my days are feeling long, days are ups and low. I know that I'm never alone. In the midst of the darkness, where God is with me. I know that I'm never alone. In the midst of the darkness, where God is with me. I didn't know. 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 I didn't know what I could mind. Jesus, you told me. I didn't know. I didn't know. I didn't know what I could mind. I didn't know. Didn't know. I didn't know.
ladies and gentlemen, what a great sound. So I'm going to pause this and in case somebody got to call. But as I stated earlier today, and a few minutes ago, let me see what we have there. I don't know where the comments are these days. I don't even know. This is a new could I see comment? I'm sorry, any comment. But this is a new please press secretary into the studio, added to the stage. Press secretary, I'm gonna get this is on my iPad now. So she entered the studio. I don't know if she's still there, but I'm gonna give her a call in a minute. Hold on, press secretary. I will join you to the studio when I think it's here she is over here. Moga press secretary. Press secretary. What the hell? Supposed to come in, right? Press secretary, invite you. Okay. I have to stay. Okay. Cody.
I'm here, Kuyo. I'm here.
All right.
I'm gonna stay quiet while you do your
sit,
intro. Okay.
Sit, relax, and enjoy the
and
show.
listen.
I'll bring you on. So,
okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, today, in fact, that happened last night. I had a friend of mine who he works for the Philip JPA administration. This is very important. And I may take this as a joke, but there's a lot of things going on in St. Lucia under this government that they keep hiding and nobody's realizing what's going on. So my friend, I'm not saying they cannot deny someone a visa. That's not what I'm saying. This is not just somebody being denied a visa. This guy had his visa for over 20 years coming back and forth to the United States. Back and forth to the United States. Now, he went to the visa, they just denied him. He didn't go and look for a visa. He went to renew the visa. Now, I got a lot of friends. Right now, they have a guy who wanted to come to the hospital. They deny him. There's something in St. Lucia, and I believe that letter I spoke to about a couple months, maybe it's either a month ago or 2 months ago, that they got. And they are having a lot of difficulties getting visas for people to come to the, like as I told you, Dax visa was revoked. A lot of people are not getting their visas back. So the big problem I think there is in St. Lucia, people are ashamed. Like I can't even mention the guy's name, the guy whose visa was revoked. You don't want people to know that. So I think there's a lot of people in St. Lucia that the visas have been revoked and they cannot get a visa, but they are embarrassed or ashamed to tell people that they don't get a visa or the visa has been denied. So we know that the passport issue with Ernest Hilaire, that they've been selling the passport. I believe this is a big problem in St. Lucia. I believe this is one of the biggest problems we have, and we are keeping it on the wrap. The Philip JP administration is keeping that on the wrap. So people are thinking everything is okay. It is not. That passport thing is a big, big issue in St. Lucia. So I myself, I feel bad for my friend, and I know a lot of you may have families who are trying to get those visas and they cannot get a visa, but it is like a stigma, like when you're denied something, okay? You don't want to talk about things that it is going against you. You keep it, even though you are not wrong, but you don't be able to know my Baba take my visa. Nobody wants to know that, so people are hiding it. They're hiding it, and there's a big problem. I think Ernest Hilaire has messed up this passport thing. There's a big problem in St. Lucia, and I want you all to be careful. And ask you, maybe more people should come out and say that they've lost their visa and they're going through this problem, so that the government of St. Lucia will realize this is a very serious thing. The government of St. Lucia, they know that, and they got the letter and they're making it look like, oh, somebody go and I don't know if Richard Frederick visa was revoked. He didn't come to Labor Day last week. I mean, the last Labor Day he had. So there's a lot, and that's actually told us he was revoked. A lot of police officer visas have been revoked. So what exactly is going on? What exactly is going on? That I don't know. But this is something we have to talk about, and I will talk a little bit more about it. But since my press secretary has been on hold, I think she wants to talk about something else that's going on in the country. So, Press Secretary, are you there? I'm trying to figure out my app still. So, are you there right now?
Cleo, I'm on, but go ahead, talk for a little bit, and then I'll come on.
Well,
Go.
I'm giving you the opportunity to talk because I'm trying to figure this out. If there's a comment, I just put this on my iPad today, so you can go ahead and talk while I'm trying to. Okay, here it is. I think I might see. Show comment on stage. One more comment there. So go ahead, talk. Let me see what's going to happen there. What were you going to talk about?
I just sent I'm trying to go. I'm trying to not get cut off. That's all. But can you hear me? Tell me if you can hear me, because I'm trying to not.
Yeah, you're coming in and out. I don't know what's going on. People were working on that thing there. It's a new thing. Press Secretary? Show comment on stage. Let me see. Wait. Check overlay lets you display live comments directly on the stream. So this is like an iPad. I'm losing something on Twitch. So where's the comment? Makaway. Makaway kosa ka comment. Makatanzo Makaway. So let me see. Okay. Destination. Yes. Anyway, I don't know. But Press Secretary.
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Live viewers comment show up on stream. Yeah, this is an example. Tap on the comment to show it on screen. Okay, so let me see. Show on screen. Okay, I see. So actually, all right. So I guess so. People, that is the HTTP StreamYard. That is the link. If you want to join the live, you can click on that stream. Press Secretary, what exactly are we talking about there today? Go to Press Secretary. Press Secretary.
You hearing me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Cleo, I don't know if that will work, because
I can see you. I can hear. You don't want your face to be there, right?
No, my face is not there. I know it's not there because I blocked it off.
You can click on that stream. What's your issue?
I blocked it off. I was just saying that I've been asking for a list of the achievements of the Labour Party over the past couple of years. And I came across a list today. Boy, I need to find a way to view that list and speak to you at the same time. But anyway, the list was very funny to me. And
you're going in and out. Are you using the same phone to do this thing?
Oh boy.
Miranda
okay, there's
John,
a second. So anyway, part of the list said that first of all, I reviewed their list, and their list said absolutely nothing when it comes to any infrastructure in St. Lucia. No construction, none at all. There was nothing on the list that mentioned anything about a building, about a bridge, about a road, nothing at all was done under the Labour Party. But what they put on their list was very funny to me. The Labour Party had the audacity to say on the list that they put the passports back to 10 years. Cleophas, qui mon qui tie this l'année passport?
I'm not sure.
Yeah, the Labour Party changed the passport to 5 years. Then they came back, they increased the price of the passport by more than 3 times. Okay, a passport we used to buy for $80 and we used to pay a $10 fee for the picture. So we used to pay a minimum of like maybe $90 in total for the passport. We end up paying $300 or $250 for one passport. And now you're going to tell us you put the passport back to 10 years at the same $250, a passport that we used to buy for $80 for 10 years? Tell the Labour Party those little gimmicks will and come again. That is so ridiculous. Then they spoke about the VAT, talking about how they extended the VAT exempted list for groceries and they zero rated the VAT on some of the groceries. Cleophas, who put VAT in the first place? Who put VAT in the first place? Who implemented VAT on solutions when our unemployment rate was at a ridiculous rate of 25% or more? You went ahead and you introduced VAT on solutions, you implemented it, and now you're going to come and take credit for removing some of the items and zero rating VAT on some of the items. But while you zero rating VAT on some of the items, you put a 2.5% levy on all imported goods into the country. Okay? And then the items that you say you zero rating VAT on are already VAT, 40 of them are already, no, 25, let me correct myself. 25 of them were already VAT exempted. So I trying to figure out why they taking credit. Then they put the St. Jude's Hospital. Bonje. After Labour Party do that manger cochon, Cleophas, that manger cochon with the hospital. Go back to the old building, spend $400 million on the old building, only to come back and want to open two of the buildings that were constructed under the Alan Chastanet administration. The Labour Party want to take credit for the St. Jude's Hospital and say they're the ones who completed and are opening 15 beds at the St. Jude's Hospital. 15 beds. That is what you call an accomplishment. On top of that, they came and they talk about the laptop reinstatement, and I'm just going through their list as we speaking. Cleophas, when the United Workers' Party was in power, they gave the children tablets with MiFi, which is a Wi-Fi, but it works on the tablet MiFi. And they were implementing the ebook system. And with the ebook system, you would get all of your textbooks at no more than $250 for all of your textbooks, right? They loaded. The Labour Party come back, remove the MiFi, remove everything, give the children a laptop, an empty laptop, nothing on it, and they still have to go and buy textbooks. So tell me, what is the point of the laptop? And I want you to tell me if that makes any sense to you, Cleo. What is the point of the laptop if I still have to go and buy all my textbooks?
I know.
The laptop makes absolutely no sense if I have to go and buy all of my textbooks. Then they came back and say 4 paid CXCs. Depuis qui joue Labour Party pay CXC by set lycéen. Labour Party only now came and say children will not pay for CXC. Didn't children write CXC in May, June? Correct me if I'm wrong. To me, the summer, they announced this in the ending of the summer when CXC was well done and closed off and children had already collected their results and on their way to SAAFA or on their way to their jobs or whatever. So tell me how you taking credit for 4 subjects being paid for CXC when you never paid CXC for the children. That is an accomplishment. This is something you put on your list as accomplishments under the Labour Party. Then they talk about the cruise ship port, development of the cruise ship ports. Cleo, what was the last development you saw of any of the cruise ship ports in St. Lucia?
I don't know. I don't slash, but didn't they sell it to the people now? The whole port.
Cleo, the last time there was any development on the port was the port in Point Seraphine that was done under the Alan Chastanet administration. After that, you come and you sell our port to GPH for $1 per year for 30 to 40 years because they gave them the no contest for an extended period of 10 years if they want it, right? You call that development of our ports when you have closed our port in Vieux Fort, zero development in Vieux Fort. Then you raise the head tax and you're going to give the head tax over to, you're going to give the head tax, all of the head tax basically, over to the same GPH. The same GPH is going to be the ones collecting the money. SLASPA is going to get $1, and SLASPA have to maintain all of the shops, everything. They have to do all of their maintenance. And you call that development of the ports? Who is reaping the rewards for the development of the port that you throwing the people off of the Bonanza lands for, and that you sold to GPH for $1 per year for 40 years? I mean, you like tell me everything that Labour Party has said that they have accomplished is contradictory. Everything they say that they have accomplished is contradictory. I'm going to my list and I'm coming to you, so I might go in and out a little.
No problem. You, the lady with all the information, you and Ian. I'm Miranda John. You know the link is there too. If you want to join the show, Miranda, it's gonna be right here. You can just click on the link. It's right there, Miranda John.
Then they said that facility fees were paid for students. Cleophas, ça pas jamais vrai. Facility fees poko pay by students. And when have students qui entre l'école, you just fin pay facility fees ou sav. Mais c'est moun nan di yo pay facility fees by students. This is a blatant, like, why does the Labour Party feel it's okay to just come, spew lies, say lies, and it's just okay? The same way they spoke about ultrasound for pregnant women. Up to now, all the pregnant women have been reporting they had to go and pay for the ultrasound. All of the pregnant women are reporting that. So why are you lying? Why are you lying? Is it the job of the Labour Party to make a mess and then to come and play hero, knight and shining armor and claiming that they came to clean up the mess? Who made the mess in the first place? Who took down the price, the years on the passport and increased the price?
That's what they create a problem. And then just like the money given the pensioners, put a tax on us, make $24 million, and then you go back and try to give it to us saying he gave us something.
And then he didn't even give us all. How? And I asked that again. How many pensioners do we have in St. Lucia? Because we have a lot of people who are at the age of pensioners. You see them walking on the street. Is their little savings? Is their children? You understand? That's who are taking care of them. These people don't even get $1 from government. They do not get a pension. And I see have all little gimmicks to prevent you from getting your money. You worked 364 days, you were missing 1 day. That's why we cannot give you the pension. All kind of nonsense happening over there. A lot of people who you and I believe are getting pensions are not collecting pension money. So how many pensioners do we have in St. Lucia? And how many of them are benefiting from the increase? Just a whole load of nonsense. So what I have to say to the Labour Party, urban development of downtown Castries, okay? The sidewalks, the traffic lights, all of the things that have been placed in Castries, all of the sidewalks and the pavements and the beautification of Castries, that was done under Alan Chastanet, under the OECS Regional Competitiveness Project, okay? So stop taking credit for Castries and saying you put meters and you put in this and you put in that. You didn't do anything in Castries, okay? The very first smart school in the country, which is the Micoud Secondary School, and I always say Jean Micoud should be ashamed of themselves when they voted out Gail Rigobert. Okay, they should have been ashamed of themselves. That was done under the Alan Chastanet administration. Okay, The slope stabilization project. You see all those things you see happening in Bacatel and all of these places, the road closed, they're fixing the road there, whatever slope stabilization project. These projects are continuation of the work which was done by Alan Chasney. The master drainage project, Alan Chasney. All of the community centers, all of those they stopped, and all of those which were already built and constructed, Alan Chasney. Okay? The designs and the construction for the airport, what they stopped and broke down the progress, the work which was already done, Alan Chasney. Okay, the Chazelle Secondary School, Alan Chasney. I want the Henry Polyclinic, the Miku Health Center, Alan Chasney. I want the Labour Party to come and tell us things that have to do with education, things that have to do with healthcare, things that have to do with infrastructure. That is what I want them to come and tell us. Don't come and tell us about little hand-me-downs and we give the pensioners a raise and we pay facilities. You know, we pay facilities for children. You never give the ladies the ultrasound. Why are you lying? What is to lie about? You decrease the number of years for the passport. You raise the price of the passport. Then you pass back and you raise the years back. When you raise the years, you're already still collecting the money that you started collecting. So you put a problem, you increase the price, and then you say, oh, we'll give you the 10 years back. But the people see the 10 years come back. They never see the $80 come back, though. They never see the $80 come back. All they saw was the 10 years came back. Who put it to 5 years in the first place? I cannot understand why people so blind. Why are people so blind? Cleophas, what runs a country? Healthcare,
Security.
Education, infrastructure, security. These are the 4 fundamental things you look for when you look for a nation. Okay? Alan Chasney had the entire border under control during COVID. All of a sudden, you're giving the marine unit water skis. To me, you need a boat or you need a jet ski or something to use a water ski behind. What they doing? Water sports, or they got in the ports? They got in our shores.
They're having fun.
Masakopan. So what I'm telling you, Cleophas, I was looking for the achievements. I was hoping to see, because they like to come and throw words and they like to talk and open their mouth and put their hands on their chest and whatever. And so I saw the list today and I was like, look, the list. The list talking about pensioners get an increase. The list talk about minimum wage. Okay, you raise the minimum wage. Thank you very much for raising the minimum wage. But how much are you taking from us when you raise the minimum wage? An extra $4 on every gallon of gas? A 2.5% levy? The taxation is ridiculous. The gas prices are through the roof, but you're saying you give the people extra money on the minimum wage. Piss in their eye and calling it rain. The Indian giver, while they're giving, they're taking with the other hand.
This is
and they're taking more.
Right? That's
I'm sorry?
derogatory. That's derogatory, Indian giver.
Don't worry, I'm on both sides of the playing field, so I can say
Indian, so you're good.
No, I'm half. So I can say it. Yeah, but what I'm saying, Cleo, sorry, people, I'm doing a little cooking as well. Yeah, but what I'm saying, Cleo, is you cannot be taking this is the achievement. This is what you're going to post online and tell people these are the achievements of the Labour Party. You haven't done anything to bring the country from point A halfway to point B. No steps have been taken. On top of that, the crime is rampant. The young people are dying. What have you done? This is what you are claiming. This is what you have taken upon yourself and claiming and beating your hands on your chest and saying we did this and we did that. When you look at all the work, all the infrastructure that Alan Chasney did in 2.5 years, because we had 2 years of COVID, 2.5 years, Alan Chasney accomplished so much. And you come here and for 4.5 years, this is what you have on your list of accomplishments. This is what you put out there. And since that day, we have been at Philip J. Pierre about the gas prices. We have been on him. We have been on him. We have been on him about the gas prices. He just continues to ignore St. Lucians and continue to exploit St. Lucians when it comes to the price of gas. And we're supposed to go down to the polls, right, Cleophas? We're supposed to go down to the polls and we're supposed to put our little tikwa and vote Labour Party in so they can continue to overtax us. They can continue with their 2.5% levy. They can continue with the overcharging of gas. They can continue to keep our education behind. They can continue to not build any infrastructure in the country, allow the country to break down for another 5 years. That is what you're asking of us. You actually want us to vote you in so you can continue to torture us and have us on that kind of level? Have the stupidest island in the Caribbean laughing at us?
Hey, party is not stupid.
The stupidest island, and I will continue to say it when Ralph Gonzalez learned his lesson for disrespecting Alan Chasney, then I will stop saying it. That's the most stupid country in the Caribbean.
Wow. Anyway, all views are not KKR views.
No, but on a more serious note, these are the accomplishments. The hospital you opening for 15 beds in the 2 buildings that Alan Chasney built. Meukadi Moon, you accomplished the hospital. No, tell the people you accomplished the laundry and the kitchen in the whole building. And that you will be opening 2 of Alan's buildings and you're going to be giving them 15 beds. That's what you need to tell people. Do not take credit for work that you did not do. Do not take credit for it. It's not yours. That's Alan Chasney Hospital that day. And when they opened the 15-bed hospital, I want St. Lucians to go and visit the hospital. The hospital is a public place. You go and visit the hospital. Come, say your belly hurting you, your leg hurting you, your toe hurting, your back hurting. Go and see what's going on in the hospital over there. See the building that Alan Chasney built, and then, you'll not be allowed in the laundry and in the kitchen. That's not a public place. But you cannot tell me this is all the Labour Party has to boast. No road. First they have a carpet. First they have a carpet. We have a carpet in Forestier that St. Lucians are driving on. Jean Forestier, people from Castries South East are driving on. And you're going to come and Forestier never had its own playing field. It always used to be the playing field of the Methodist Church. Because the school in Forestier is a Methodist school and the church, the playing field belonged to the Methodist.
You really know things about St. Lucia.
I know a lot of things. And that field, Guy Joseph used to host cricket every single year. I cannot remember, is it Good Friday or Easter Sunday? Around that time, every single year, they would have a cricket tournament right there in Forestier. So, sometimes you try to book the field, you try to get the field, whatever, the field belongs to the Methodist. You know what Guy Joseph did? He said, okay, people of Forestier, you all need your own field. He went and he built a field for the people of Forestier. Because sometimes the young guys would want to come and play football. They would play often, but then sometimes the Methodists don't want you to play. They don't want you to come and make noise there. They don't want this, they don't want that. And you have to understand the people running their church and stuff, so you have to respect that. So he said, okay, with all due respect, we're going to give the people of Forestier a field. Jody Jou, Joachim put in procure lights to put on the field. Listen, même ni lights machine, I never see her name on a ballot. Nobody ever vote for her. While they're talking and voting, putting up lights. This nonsense needs to stop. The Constitution states if the minister is not deceased or has not resigned, nobody can work on their behalf. And it has to be an elected minister or a prime minister to work on their behalf. And if that person has resigned, not step down and say, okay, well, I'll not run for the next election, resign, send in the letter of resignation. Or that person is not deceased or terminally ill or medical in a capacity that they cannot perform their duties, then they can resign and they could have a by-election. La Poconi PS by-elections, but they're busy using.
Is not paying attention. All the constitutional lawyers and everyone in St. Lucia, they don't know that.
No, but Cleophas, the Labour Party running a dictatorship. The Labour Party is running as if it's communism that happened in St. Lucia. And the supporters are so ignorant, they don't even realize that they are being disrespected and their democracy is being taken away from them. Their democratic rights, their right to democracy is being stolen from them. And they're busy saying, oh, Labour is Labour, so we continue. No, it don't work like that. There's rules, there's regulations, there's laws, there's reasons for elections. There are rules and regulations, and there are laws that govern the country. And certain things should not be tolerated, no matter what side you're on. It should not be tolerated. St. Lucians like to look at politics too much and forget that they are St. Lucians. Because on your passport, on your birth certificate, I did not see SLP or UWPS for St. Lucian. I don't know about the rest, but that's what I saw on mine. So I don't know if they're making a new birth certificate somewhere in St. Lucia, a new passport somewhere in St. Lucia that give you yellow or red. But what I know is St. Lucian is what is written on mine. A lot of the nonsense happening in the country, it needs to stop. It needs to be stopped. And the St. Lucia Labour Party, you should be ashamed of yourself. You should be 100% ashamed of yourself for you to be coming up with that ridiculous, disgusting, stupid little child list. Any little organization that has nothing to do with government, that any little charity could have pulled off the things that you're pulling off. The things that they claim to be pulling off there, any little charity, we could actually form a charity and say we're sponsoring a department or some place, some organization, some group in St. Lucia, and we can go ahead and we can take care of these things. So that's not that's nothing for the government. That's a walk in the park for the government. These things supposed to be an afterthought for the government. The government is supposed to be looking forward to improving our standard of living. Putting us on top of the map, making us look like what we're supposed to look like. Instead, you have us there, tipapi, boutique, hungry. They're like we're ready to be shaking our little bum by the boats. Just now, that's what St. Lucians will have to do, and then they will have to pay GPH to shake their butt by the boats. It's just so ridiculous. And their list, they need to will and come again with that list. And you know what, Cleophas? I will be writing the list. I will write the list of just some. I will just touch on some of the small things that were done by the United Workers' Party, and I'll put it next to their list. And I will post it.
So they make that list. When you read, that's a new list again?
I read the list. The list was posted online. And the person wrote the achievements of and that person is a strong labor. That's very strong labor supporter. And the person posted it and said that this is the list of the achievements and the success of the Labour Party. When they said, quote, I was reading, I was waiting for the achievements. I was waiting for the success. They're talking about Alan Chancellor, about education. Who fixed the Victor Archer building over on the Mon when it was in a dilapidated state? Who fixed it? The children at the schools suffering, going to the school and eating tuna fish and rice. How many days in the week? No vegetables, no fruits, no protein. because they can the feeding program is in such a deplorable state. They refuse to take care of the feeding program in the school. But you opening your mouth and saying you're paying facility fees, no pas jamais pay facility fees.
What facility is he talking about?
Facility fees is like when the children pay every year for water to accommodate water, electricity, and stuff. There's something called a facility fee at school.
The
You
students pay
pay,
that?
yeah, you paid when you register, and every single year you paid. I know because my parents used to pay for all of us. My parents used to pay. They had five of us at school. They used to pay $1,000+ in facility fees every year. So I know about it. It's just what I'm saying, Cleophas. I'm not saying do not give back to the people, but do not take what is the people's own and claim you giving it back to them. Claim you giving to them when you have taken everything they have. You cannot take $5 from me, give me 50 cents, and tell me you giving back. That is ridiculous. Do not take my $5. I prefer I keep my $5 and I manage my $5 how I want, as opposed to you take my $5 and give me 50 cents. It is ridiculous. I'm expecting any government who sits in office for 5 years to improve the infrastructure, because St. Lucia is a developing country. You could never finish developing St. Lucia. You can never finish developing St. Lucia. There is so much to be done in St. Lucia. So much to be done. There's so Cleophas, let me tell you something. There's so much going on. We have rising sea levels. Okay? We're losing land in St. Lucia. Climate change is a real thing, you know. Has the Labour Party ever said anything that they did to assist with climate change? Did you know that Alan Chastanet, under his administration, had a LiDAR fly over St. Lucia, map out St. Lucia to see where we're losing land, and found out that the entire country, even the ravines and the rivers, causing us to lose land in St. Lucia? Did you know that he procured tide gauges for St. Lucia so St. Lucia could actually get their own alerts to know when our sea levels are rising? If our people have to get up and run from where they are in the case of a storm, a hurricane, or whatever. There's a lot of work that has been done under the Alan Chastanet administration that St. Lucians knuckleheads know nothing about. But you're busy looking for 50 cents, according to Minerva, $5 block a hole. $5 does not block a hole. Labour Party must go. SLP must go. The choice is clear. We're getting rid of Pierre. We have to get rid of Pierre. And Hile, sorry. Thank you, Cleo. The choice is clear. We're getting rid of Pierre and Hile. Okay? It's visas. From the time that letter came out, Cleophas, and I'm just going to touch on what you spoke about. Nobody that I know who went to renew their visa has gotten their visa renewed. Absolutely nobody who went to get their visa renewed has gotten their visa renewed. As I told you, I know a family of 4. These people have had their visa for 20 years. They renewed when the first 10 years was over, and they went to renew this time. You know, they were denied. These people have never overstayed in the United States. These people have very good jobs. These people are well off. They have their home. They have everything going for them in St. Lucia. No criminal backgrounds. And these people's visa were not renewed. What is going on? And you're out there flashing money here, there, and everywhere, giving this one 2.6 million, this one this amount of money, this one that amount of money, spending big money to launch this, big money to launch that. Where is that money coming from? Is it our gas money, or is it the CIP money? Is it the money you were supposed to be spending in health and security? Because the health sector is at the worst that it has always been, evidently. Say Pamwekidi, I did not say the Dental Health and Dental Association reported it based on their statistics. The proof is in the pudding. The worst that it has ever been. Our crime is evidently the worst that it has ever been. Record-breaking crime for the past 4 years from the time you step into office. So what did you do with our health and security levy? What did you do with that 2.5%? You said that you give the police the resources, the scanners still broken. You took off the dogs, and the one dog they donated to you, which have nothing to do with you. Uchwe, you killed the one dog, the
That's what
little
the
one
French
little
people
dog.
did today. The French people bring them another dog.
I don't know. If the French people give them another dog, the French people say so hot. Because after you kill my dog, I wouldn't give you another dog. And that you see that cock and bull story about Tyson had a blood clot. Is some Tyson any high blood pressure, a cholesterol? Because my man pass a copan ki man Tyson just get a blood clot. Ek de stobe ek mokong ha. Tell me you poisoned the dog.
I thought it was rat poison.
Cleophas, all of them have a different story. They say it's a blood clot that killed Tyson was not killed by rat poison, a blood clot. Since that day, there was an autopsy done on Tyson. If there was a blood clot in Tyson, you didn't report the blood clot on day one. You got the toxicology report. You waited so long to come and tell us it's a blood clot that killed Tyson. Who they think they fooling? Who Labour Party think they fooling? You see those little gimmicks, they're so used to those gimmicks and those lies and making people believe the nonsense. And they're very good at making people the gullible, I'll say. They're very good at making the gullible believe in the things that they say. Okay? You can't vaguely say Muna. You can't vaguely say Muna.
You always have noise. Hold on, Press Secretary Ian. You always have noise in the background. You need to mute your phone. I told you use the link, but you're on the phone, so go ahead, Press Secretary. I'm talking to Ian.
Okay, wonderful. Yeah, I was saying they're very good at veggling people. Okay? Very good at veggling people. Making people believe what it's not. You take down the number of years on the passport. You raise the passport to $250. When they came and they tell you why you raise the passport, it's so high. You know what? Minister of Wigs and Shovel, I call in the one in Sufre these days. If you have money to travel, you have money to pay for the passport. Can you believe the audacity of those people to say that to St. Lucians? If you can travel, you can pay for the passport. What about the people who are traveling because they are sick, Cleophas? The people who are going and seek medical attention, who just had to make a barbecue to take care of their medical bills.
I know.
What about the children who are going to school, who have big student loan paying and just struggling? Sometimes they at the university eating cricks and water for a whole week, making tea, drinking hot tea to make it through the day. They don't know that a lot of them do not know the life of a young person who have to study and who have to pay their loan while they study. They don't know.
Hold on a second. Ian, are you there?
I'm here.
Okay. Press Secretary, I'm going to put Ian on for a little bit. So just
yes, go ahead.
Go ahead, Ian, if you give your contribution.
I've been listening to Madam Press Secretary, and I cannot, and everything that she said, it makes absolute sense, and I want to agree with her 100%. With the issue of the promises, the so-called promises that the St. Lucia Labour Party say they achieved so far, and she aptly said or articulated, there's nothing the Labour Party can be proud of and say they achieve anything in government. The passport issue, Madam Press Secretary forgot to say that the Labour Party only changed the passport from 5 to 10 years. Remember that she said they were the ones who took the passport from 10 years to 5 years. The only reason why they reverted back to the 10-year passport is because at a special conference of the United Workers' Party, one of the things the United Workers' Party said as a policy statement at that conference was that the passports, once they assume office, government,
that passport will go back to 10 years. So hearing that, they rush to revert it back to 10 years. It was not something of their own doing. Take, for example, the United Workers' Party said in the SOS 7-point plan that every young student who wants to go to Sir Arthur Lewis Community College, there will be no tuition. It will be tuition free, no tuition. Hearing that, Philip JPF come and say, oh, he's going to give preschoolers preschool education for free. So you see, it tells me that the Labour Party is just on a bandwagon mentality. They have no initiative, they have no vision, they have no plans of their own. Just copycat. That's how I see it. Plain and simple copycat. I want to speak to of something, Kikera, that transpired today. And it's very unfortunate that operatives or surrogates of the St. Lucia Labour Party can stoop so low. And I'm not defending Garfield Oliver. Garfield Oliver is competent, he's able enough to defend himself. But it could happen, today is him, tomorrow it could happen to me, it could happen to Madam Press Secretary, it could happen to you. Garfield Oliver said during an interview or program he had that he's been getting threats. Let's like you, brother KKRR, you've been getting threats from surrogates of the Labour Party because of the desperation. They don't like what we're saying because they know what we're saying, we're speaking the truth. So they're trying to intimidate. So Garfield Oliver said, look here, that he's going to report those surrogates of the St. Lucia Labour Party who threaten put threats on him, make threats on his life. He's going to report them to the U.S. authorities. And he followed up with that. He said he called the U.S. Embassy in Bridgetown, Barbados, and he remade the report. Anson Maxwell, who seemed nothing to do but twist this thing, lie, called Shelton Daniel today and saying how Garfield Oliver reporting surrogates of the St. Lucia Labour Party and whatever. The gentleman never said he reporting surrogates of the St. Lucia Labour Party. What he was basically saying is that, look here, those of you who made threats on my life, I'm making an official report. As anything else, I would do the same thing. But this is where it gets scarier, KKRR, and Madam Press Secretary. Shelton Daniel will say he wants Garfield Oliver be stopped or be banned from entering St. Lucia. You understand what's happening there?
Well, it's a dictatorship already.
So you're telling me that nobody can speak in this country. You're telling me that there's no free speech again. You're telling me that there's no democracy. You're telling me that the St. Lucia Labour Party and its surrogates believe that St. Lucia belongs to them and you should not speak in this country. We all have our right. Whether the gentleman was born in St. Vincent, but he's a St. Lucian. He's a St. Lucian. He's a St. Lucian citizen. Whether he was born, Sir John Compton was born in the Grenadines or wherever he was born. But he came to St. Lucia. He made his contribution. He was a St. Lucian. George Mallet was not born in St. Lucia. He was born in, from my information, Panama. But he came to St. Lucia. He made his contribution. He served. He's a St. Lucian. And the list goes on and on and on. So you're telling me, if my kids, who are not born St. Lucians, but they are St. Lucians, by virtue of me being a St. Lucian, and they want to come back and give something back to St. Lucia, you're going to tell them because they were not born in St. Lucia, they're not St. Lucians? And you want to stifle free speech if they want to speak up and say something that they say is going wrong in St. Lucia? I mean, St. Lucia, look at what's happening. This current Labour Party government, their mindset, the way they operate, the way they think, the way they speak, it's like they alone must speak in the country. And other people must not voice their opinion. And when you voice your opinion, either they threaten you with death threats, or either they say the most derogatory things about you and your family because you're speaking out and you're pointing out the ills of the country, the wrongdoings of the country, the shortcomings of the country. That cannot be right, St. Lucia. And this is one, I see, every time I get this opportunity, KKRR and Madam Press Secretary, I'll be giving St. Lucians reasons not to vote for the St. Lucia Labour Party when that election bell is rung. And that's one more reason. Our democracy, our free speech is in jeopardy. under this current Philippine-led administration called the St. Lucia Labour Party. I'm very concerned about that because years ago, I remember in a latter dispensation, an earlier dispensation, under Kenny Anthony, a law was passed in Parliament called 361, where the media houses were under attack for free speech. Persons who would have been under attack for free speech, and had it not been for Rick Wayne, who stood up and who campaigned and who voiced his opinion against 361, today possibly 361 would have still been on our law books under a Labour Party government. You remember affirmative action?
Yes, I remember. Can I just interrupt for 1 second? Ian, let them know what 361 entail. Let them know about the fines for speaking ill of the government. Let them know what the fines would have been against civilians, regular people, voters, citizens of the country.
In 361, the law that Kenny Anthony passed in Parliament when he first got in 1997, you know what it says? If you challenge the government, like what you're doing now, and the government perceives that you're challenging them, they can take you to hold you before court, and you could have been jailed, under that current under what that law was, the 361 law was. St. Lucia free speech was in jeopardy, Had it not been for Rick Wayne was on this thing night and day. That law would still be on our books, courtesy the St. Lucia Labour Party, And I was just talking about the affirmative action. It was the Labour Party who passed at the convention between 1997 and 2001 or 2002. They had a convention in Babono. I remember that clearly. And they passed a party law that only Labour Party people should get work in government. You remember that, Madam Press Secretary?
100%. 100%. Was it Finisterre that was there at the time?
Phyllis Finisterre was the parliamentary rep for Babono, and he was also the minister. At the time, it was Ministry of Communications and Works.
Yep.
You know who passed that law? Who tabled that law? That's right. That law was tabled at that convention in Babono by Tom Walcott. Rick Wayne used to call him at the time Tomical Ali. May his soul rest in peace. He was the one who put that law to the table, and it was passed unanimously that only St. Lucia Labour Party at the time supporters should get contracts or should get work in the country. That is the Labour Party for you. So they do not like people who oppose them. Anytime the St. Lucia Labour Party is in government, once you criticize them, they go after you, whether by employment or they go after you. My family have been victims of victimization because of my involvement and alignment with the United Workers' Party. I have been victimized for jobs. There was once, I'll give a true story, but I won't call the person's name. I applied to become a correctional officer at Bordiley. Remember Madam Press Secretary and KKRR, when Bordiley had just opened, when they had just opened Bordiley. I remember that clearly. So I applied to Bordiley to be a correctional officer. You know what was by a prominent Labour Party person who was in part of the government machinery? He called me to his office and he said, Ian, as much as you meet the qualification, but all applications must go before the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister has to decide who should get employment or who should not get employment. And when your application went to the Prime Minister, which was Kenny Anthony, he said, no way, this guy getting a job in government. You understand that, Madam Press Secretary?
Yeah, but that's what it is. Victimization upon victimization upon victimization. They look to make sure that you are a supporter before they allow you to even work or make a bread in the country. And that is wrong. You are a St. Lucian. St. Lucians need to stand up for their rights and understand that we are all St. Lucians and we are free to have a different opinion. We're supposed to be able to agree to disagree. We're not supposed to be enemies with our brothers and sisters simply because we decide we want to vote for a different person. It is a democracy, and if we do not have more than one person running, then we do not have democracy. So I just don't get why they want to victimize people. Our free speech is under attack. So now they cannot pass that law anymore. So you know what they're doing? They want to beat the little journalists when they want to beat them and mistreat them and mishandle them, shout at them, belittle them, talk to them like they are animals. That is what the Labour Party does. They disrespect the people and are talking to you, and stuff like that. The people simply doing their job. The people keeping St. Lucians up to date with what is happening, because every St. Lucian cannot go stand up at the house and see what is happening. Why are you going to be disrespectful? Why are you going to assault the reporters? That Labour Party, all I see is destruction. Every time the Labour Party has sat in St. Lucia, it has always been disastrous. There has never been.
Look at what happened when they got into office in 2021, when they won the election. Most of the media people that was anti-UWP in the media, they are now consumed, or they got a big job in the Prime Minister's office. I can call at least 4 or 5 of them who now sitting in cushy jobs in the Prime Minister's office doing nothing. Payback time. So what they do, the Labour Party, they control the media, which is what they're doing now. So there's no free speech, there's no challenge. And the little media, like KKRR, like Timothy Polio, like Garfield Oliver, like Minova Ward, who have the balls, the testicular fortitude to challenge this government and to criticize this government, they're going after them. They make threats. If it's not lawsuit threats, they make physical threats on your life. How St. Lucians can allow our country to be like we can say we are a communist country. There's no democracy. Because in a democracy, you have a government and you have an opposition. And it's the opposition. When I say opposition, I don't mean Bradley Phillips or Alan Chastanet in the parliament, or the United Workers' Party as a political organization. I don't mean that as opposition. I mean opposition where if you're a private citizen and you see things going wrong in your country, you have a right to criticize your government and say, no, this is wrong. But under this current SLP, this Labour Party, you cannot criticize them. And the minute you criticize this government, right, you've been ostracized, you've been victimized, you've been mépris. They send mépris at you, trying to intimidate you and to prevent you from talking. But I will continue to talk, because when I see wrongdoing, I will speak about it. Like the Creole thing says, "Pani situes, pani vole." If you know somebody is doing wrong and you encourage them or you say nothing, you're just as guilty as them. St. Lucia, you understand that? We have to speak out. We have to say to this Labour Party government and this Labour Party, St. Lucia does not belong to y'all. It belongs to all of us. We all have a stake in St. Lucia. We are citizens of St. Lucia, and we have a right, a God-given right, to criticize whichever government or whichever party without any fear of contradiction, without any fear of victimization. I'm very upset today.
Yeah, that's why.
Go ahead, sorry, Madam Press Secretary.
Oh no, I'm saying that's why we have to put them in their place when they come with their nonsense. That's why the last time I had to tell Cleo first, add me to the live, because I'm going to come on the live on a point of Roro to put the young man in his place. The guy is my cousin, coming on the show to attack me because I have a different opinion from him. From his sister. I have the right to support whoever I want. I grew up in the same community with Lisa. I know Lisa my whole life. Lisa know me her whole life. I never had a personal issue with her. I'm not her enemy. I'm not vexed with Lisa. If I pass on the road and I see Lisa, I'll say hi to Lisa. If Lisa don't want to say hi to me, that's fine. And if I pass on the road and I see she go flay her face or she vex or whatever, I will not say hi to her. But at the end of the day, we're not supposed to be vexed with each other because we share different political views. So I do not know what is the problem with those Labour Party supporters. Why are they so aggressive? The people always vex. They win, they vex. They lose, they vex. They always vex. They always aggressive. Passing, breaking people windscreen, doing all kinds of nonsense for ministers. All the ministers eating and drinking together. All of them eating and drinking together. Why are you fighting with people? Right is right, wrong is wrong. If your perception of right is different from mine, then so be it. What you see right and what I see right are two different things. Let's agree to disagree and let the polls talk. But what you're not going to do is come and attack me, because if you attack me, I'll attack you. And job-wise, whatever it is, it's about time Solutions start suing the government when they do nonsense like that. Take them to court, take them down. Because you cannot tell me I'm qualified for a job. Peter comes, Peter is not qualified. He doesn't meet the terms of reference. He sends in his expression of interest. I send mine in. There's a TOR, there's standards. You do not meet it, I meet it. They give you the job up ahead of me. I taking you to court. I taking you to court for that because you victimizing me and you depriving me. It's about time St. Lucia start putting their foot down for this nonsense that happened in St. Lucia. You cannot tell me you're taking all my money every time I go and buy gas. When I'm supposed to spend $10, I spend $14. You understand me? Where I was supposed to spend $12, I spend $16. You're going to tell me taking my $4, then you turn back, you give me 5 cents from the $4. And you telling me you give me something, a hand me down. I gave that to these people and I gave that to this group of people and that group of people, and always very tiny, slim, skeleton groups of people. The bare minimum groups, the small, tiny minority groups. They're always saying they give this and they give that to them. They need to stop. We need to get rid of that Labour Party. There's no progress. Their list says it all. I have not seen any infrastructure, no improvement on education, and the mothers who just finished pay facility fees, come out, post it, post how much money you pay for facility fees. Last kite Labour, Mati, Ekene set lycéen. You understand me? Stop letting Labour come out and say those lines. You know you're paying facility fees. Labour saying they pay facility fees for students. And you know you pay facility fees. You're not saying a word. You staying there like a mumu. You eating your words. It needs to stop. The victimization, the bullying, it needs to stop. SLP must go. They must go. No progress in the country, no infrastructure, no help for education, nothing for healthcare, nothing for security. All you talking about is tiny handouts when you robbing us in plain sight. Back to you, Ian.
So my boy Ian.
I'm here. I just wanted to say I was on mute, sorry, because of sometimes I would have some background noise. I don't want it to affect the show. So I was saying, I listened to Marvin Charles this morning, and he gave us a story, a live story that he witnessed at St. Thing. Born about 6:30 or 7. There was no doctor, there was no nurse to attend to the people. It so happened that he said a gentleman came for some medical situation. And for some reason, I don't know the deep circumstances, he said, the gentleman collapsed or he wanted some medical attention. He said nobody was there, no nurse, no doctor, nothing. He said there were 2 security officers, they themselves just stood there, watched what was going on, never assisted. There was not even a wheelchair to give the gentleman to sit comfortably on. When the different patients who sat there waiting for to get medical attention, they saw what was happening. They decided to cry out and to try to get some nurse or whatever attention. Marvin Charles said one nurse came out. She was like, there's no urgency in her response. He and another lady had to be wheeling the gentleman to the emergency room. Imagine that, you know. And then, lo and behold, because of the gentleman's weight, he couldn't lift him to put him. A doctor came. And sadly, he said, the gentleman passed away. That is the situation of our health care under Moses Musa Baptiste. And you're telling me you're putting people first? Now, I'm not blaming the nurses and the doctors. I'm blaming Ministry of Health. I'm blaming Musa because you all can find monies to pay $400,000 to launch Lisa Joyerie or Joyer. You all can find $400,000 to launch Danny Butcher, but you all cannot find money to provide at the hospitals adequate nurses and doctors so that when people get to the hospital, they can get quick medical attention. What is this? What is the priority of this Labour Party government? I just don't understand the priority. I just cannot understand the priority. Look at what happened there. One, with regards to the death of Tyson, the canine dog, one pathologist saying the dog was poisoned. Another one is saying the dog was not poisoned. Mass confusion. We do not, up to daylight today, we do not know how Tyson got his demise. A canine dog, a police officer in St. Lucia, in the care of the Royal St. Lucia Police Force, and not a word from the Minister of National Security, which is Philippe Pierre. And St. Lucians, you're just going to sit idly by and allow this thing to continue. When you look slowly but surely, we are losing our country or we have lost our country. And you're telling me anybody in their right mind would take a shower on election day and put on a nice dandan or nice clothes and go and vote for the St. Lucia Labour Party? You must be crazy to do something like that. You must be insane to do something like that.
No, you just are so hot to do something like that.
So hot.
I mean, come on, St. Lucia. We have to raise our standards. We're losing our country. Our country is in trouble. Serious trouble. When you're telling me ministers of government can travel all over the place, all over the globe, and come back to a country and do not tell the people what they negotiated, who they met, which investors they met, nothing. Total disrespect. Our passports, our CIP passports, was just given away to Caribbean, to Galaxy. We're hearing $1.4 billion, and I'll keep repeating it. What they negotiate, just vanish. Galaxy. And when they ask Ernest Hiller a question, he continues to disrespect the people of St. Lucia by telling them that's not your business, or he has to get permission from Galaxy to tell us how many passports he gave Galaxy. And St. Lucia, you will go on a line on election day and vote for Ernest Hiller and the St. Lucia Labour Party. Your sovereignty was just given away. Your passports to all kinds, to all and sundry. We don't even know these people. Our airport, our ports, given away. The Madam Press Secretary said it earlier. Given away to GPH, a foreign company, for 40, 30 years in one instance. For $1 a month for 30 years, and you sit idly by.
$1 per year. $1 per year.
$1 per year for 30 years. So John Compton worked so hard to develop that port so we can have a consistent revenue stream for the country. The St. Lucia Labour Party just gave away our ports to a foreign company, and you're telling me on election day, you take a shower, put on a nice perfume and a nice dandan, and go on a line and vote for the Labour Party? You must be crazy, St. Lucia, to do something like that. Over to you, Madam Press Secretary.
Yeah, Ian, I just want to elaborate on what you just said. You have to be crazy. You have to be stupid. You have to be in some kind of trance. And I think that's why they every time Labour Party comes around, they always have some chant. I don't know if they're hypnotizing the people. I don't know if they're gauging the people. I don't know what it is, because I cannot understand for a human being to stand there, go to the supermarket, spend $300, come out with one parcel, okay, or 1.5 parcels in their hand, go to the pump, put gas in their vehicle, and spend an extra $4 per gallon. Then go to the bakery to buy bread. When they get there, the bread that used to be 25 cents is now about 85 or 95 cents. Okay, I think you used to get how many bread for $1? 4 bread for $1. I think now you get 2 bread or free bread for $1. All of these things happening in the country. You actually feel the immediate impacts of the nonsense which is happening in the country. The rice, and I will always talk about that, the rice, flour, sugar, and cooking gas. Those are staples in the home, especially in the homes of the Malawi. When you have how many children to feed, how many mouths, you might give them a little slice of plantain, a little slice of ground provision, but the main course is the rice. You're telling me you take the subsidies off of these things, so these people cannot benefit. These people have to overpay for those things. As a mother, you have children sent into school. You have to pay extra money for bus fare every single day to get these children to and from school. You have to think about them while they're walking through Castries or wherever, because bullets flying as if it's birds in the forest. And you're going to go down to the poll and vote for the government that have you in that situation? You've got to be kidding me. You have got to be kidding me to tell me you will go down to the poll and keep yourself in this deplorable situation. And it's only getting worse. It will only get worse. What is the plan of the Labour Party for St. Lucia? What is the plan? Alan Chasney came, he said he's going to give the Sir Arthur Lewis Community College free tuition. I will give the preschool free tuition. We have young children, we have a few now. The population is decreasing. So what are you talking about, Philip J. Pierre? Do a feasible study. There should be a feasible study done every single year for the population of the country. How it's decreasing. What are the groups of children, people who are dying the most? And you will see it's people between the age ranges of 21 and 40 who are being murdered and killed. Okay? Then you have the younger ones. You have a lot of children in secondary school right now leaving secondary school. Then when you ripple down into the lower numbers in terms of the age, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Kindergarten used to have 35 children. Right now, kindergarten have 5 children. So he always looking for the smaller minority. I always say he always looking for the minority, the smaller group, the easy way out. What do you propose for the infrastructure? What do you propose for the crime? To battle the crime, because you haven't said you're going to procure new scanners. You have not invested in a canine units. You have not invested in revamping the marine units and have a 24-hour patrol for our borders. You haven't put patrols out on the streets. I not seen police walking, shashing people on block, telling people open their side bag, let me see what's in it. I haven't seen any of these things happening in St. Lucia. So what you are in power right now. You're not even supposed to propose things and say, when I win or if I win. You're not supposed to say that. You in power. Why are you talking about when you win? You have the power to do everything you saying I will do if I win. So what you telling St. Lucians is, if I win, you have to make me win for me to give you these handouts. You in power. You could do it now. Show people what you can do. Don't wait for when you win. Always want to hold St. Lucians on a leash. Always want to have St. Lucians on a short leash. Keeping St. Lucians hungry. Keeping them with nothing. Keeping them down in the gutter. So when they get one nickel, the nickel they feel as if it's $2 million they get. They get a $150 voucher. Christmas coming. $150 vouchers. They give it to them. They're acting as if it's a $2,000 voucher they get to go to Massey or whatever it name, you know. They act. That's how they act, because they don't know money. The Labour Party has had the country so low. They have lowered the standards so much that a lot of St. Lucians are looking at very small things as if it's huge. Yo, where is John? You can say, "Be." Come on, these little things, these are mediocre things. These are things that anybody could sponsor, any organization. I know people who have organizations taking care, not in St. Lucia. I don't know any St. Lucians doing it, but I know people who have organizations taking care of a whole school or 2 schools in their country. Holding parties, holding drums, holding dance, holding bingo and stuff to raise funds. So those things Philip J. Pierre is saying that he's doing, any organization can come together and do it. Any organization, the caucus could actually take a school under their wing. So what you're saying there, you're not doing anything for St. Lucians. I want to see infrastructure. I want to see improvement in the health sector. Alan Chastanet came and he said, okay, everybody's going to be covered under the insurance for $75,000 per year. If you don't use the $75,000 for your insurance this year, next year it's just going to restart for $75,000. If you use $20 next year, it's still going to be $75,000. That's the coverage you have for the year. So, o malade, buda o kafe o mal, do kafe o mal, una vie hanche, go to the doctor, go and see what's going on with you. Your insurance will cover it. I'm sorry?
You said a vie hanche?
Yeah, a vie hanche, a vie genou. Whatever you have, go to see the doctor because your insurance will cover it. The labor hacks have saying Alan Chastanet promised to give everybody $75,000. Why are you all saying this nonsense? Do you understand how stupid and how ignorant you sound when you say these things? Alan Chastanet, when Philip J. Pierre told you all he would have given you all the $1,500, that's why you all run and put him in office. You all ever get the $1,500? But Alan Chastanet talk about an insurance to cover you for your healthcare, you busy lying and say nonsense. SLP must go.
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
No. I said the political season, so you hear all the lies and all the bulu bulu.
Lies. A lady responded to me under a post Alan Chastanet put, and she was like, I'm not on any side. She said to me, I'm not on any side, but I'm seeing no hospital. I will not vote for you because you don't care about health. I said to her, how do you mean he doesn't care about health? He started to build a brand new hospital for you, but COVID happened. It slowed down things for the entire world. The entire world. I was walking through. Let me tell you something, Cleophas. COVID was so serious. You know how Penn Station have millions of people going through Penn Station in one day?
Yep.
Cleophas, I got off a train in Penn Station. I rode the cab on the train. The train was empty. I got off and Penn Station, I did not see one person. Cleophas, I walk in. Then I see a lady coming out of nowhere. And the lady came to say hello to me. Like she came to ask me. And I don't know if it was directions. I don't know what she was asking for. And when I saw the lady coming, Cleophas, as if I could have just run out of the place, I just started walking fast. Because in my mind, oh my God, the apocalypse has happened. And the zombies coming for me. Or she's coming to give me COVID. That is how I felt. Can you imagine the entire world was shut down? New York City was shut down. 42nd Street, Pateni Moon, La Pateni Pearson. But St. Lucians want to blame Alan Chastanet for not completing the hospital when COVID was happening. You have to give Jack his jacket, because if it was Philip J. Pierre that was in power, it's the same thing that would have happened. He would not complete the hospital because of the COVID. Anybody who would have been placed in that situation would not have been able to complete the hospital. But what I can say is not anybody who was placed in the situation at the time would have been able to manage it the way Alan Chastanet managed it. St. Lucia was #1 in the world. People were looking at St. Lucia to try to get tips and ideas as to how to control the numbers for COVID. And then Labour Party come and do a match and just spread COVID in St. Lucia and kill how many innocent people. That's how selfish and ridiculous those hooligans are. SLP has been disastrous from day one. And God forbid we are in the hurricane season. God forbid St. Lucia has a natural disaster. With that Labour Party sitting there, certainly see fini Sisafet. They finish. They do not manage money. They cannot manage crime. They cannot manage anything in the country. They cannot manage anything in the country. We give the police the tools. We give the police the tools to do what they're supposed to do. Are you saying you give the police the tools to do what they're supposed to do? You're the commander in chief. Sir John had every single morning before Sir John drink his cup of tea or his cup of coffee, a report had to be sent to him, The commissioner had to come and speak to Sir John and let him know what happened last night in the country and what is being done and tips and ideas and coming up with plans, You come there, you say, my father, when I was the police, I'm not a police. You're not a police. What you doing as Minister of National Security if you can open your mouth and say my father was the police? I'm not a police. Cleophas, your father was police. You're not a police. Your father was a police. You're not a police. I'm sure if you were the one sitting there, you would have put things in place. You would have asked your father for advice. You would have taken advice from the police who were able to control crime in their time, who are still alive.
You can go around the world. You can read. You can get consultants. That's such a lame excuse. You can't do this. Come on.
You have to be able to take advice in order for you to run a country. You have to take the advice from your friends. You have to take the advice from your enemies. Put them together, see what makes sense and what does not make sense. Alan Chastney sent you a whole letter with information, a list of what actions he believes you should take. You take it, drop it in the bin. You drop it in the bin and you open your mouth and say you drop it in the bin. So you don't care about St. Lucians. And St. Lucian is going to come back and vote for you after you say you drop the information to help you, the suggestions to help you combat crime. You did not take it into consideration. You said that you dropped it in the bin and we're supposed to come back and vote for you. Ekupa Melek, no? You're riding around on bicycle with a whole troop of police surrounding you all in Castries because you all are precious gems and prize. And you're the queen and you're supposed to have all kinds of security, but the civilians that vote and to put you in there have no security, and we're paying taxes for security.
So, Press Secretary, I don't know if Ian want to say something, but we're gonna cut off at 9.
Yeah, we're cutting off. We're cutting off, and all I'm going to say, because
Ian
already. No, I'm just gonna close here, and then you let Ian close. But I'm just going to say to everybody again, go ahead, check the voters list. Make sure your name is on there. Make sure you are in your constituency for the voters list. Make sure your ID card is up to date, because when they ring that bell, march down there and let them know the choice is clear. We're getting rid of Pierre and Ihile. Have a wonderful evening, everyone.
Ian. Well, I don't know if Ian coming. Whatever.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, you have the last 10 minutes, actually 8 minutes, because I wake up too early in the morning.
I will not going to be too long because I'm basically, Madam
I do 8 minutes, let's do too long and not cut you off.
Madam Press Secretary covered everything that I've said, but I just want to say to St. Lucian, I want to ask you a question and those of you who are listening to the live, let us be honest with ourselves. Are you better off 4 years ago and as opposed to now? That's a simple question to answer. We are not better off. We are worse off. We have a bad healthcare system. People are dying. No fault of the doctors and the nurses. That is just the sad reality, because we have a government, we have an incompetent Minister of Health in Mustaja Baptiste, who does not see capacity and the capability of providing the resources for the nurses and the doctors to do their job efficiently and effectively. So people are dying. You go to the hospital, you have to spend over 24 hours more on days to see a doctor because there are not enough doctors and nurses at the hospitals. No medication. The crime situation is out of control.
You cut off?
5 and 6 bodyguards patrolling, operating off. They have the security detail, whilst the people, the citizens of the country, have to face the situation or the reality of crime, criminality. Do you want 5 more years of that, St. Lucia? I think not. I think you want a better St. Lucia. When you go to the supermarket, Philip JPS said inflation was imported. That's what he told you. He can't do nothing to help you. Inflation was imported. Inflation was imported. Yet still, people have been clamoring the fact that when they go to the supermarket, they cannot even buy basic goods, things that they need to eat. And only because an election is coming around the corner, you miraculously find a way of saying you zero-rated some of the goods on the supermarkets, on the supermarket shelves. Trying to fool people, only to find out that the bigger items, KKR, like the big tuna fish and the big ketchup and the big this, is not but zero-rated. So that was another con. Then they keep saying this, they talk about the youth economy, another con. Trying to fool young people into believing that, okay, you can join the youth economy, it's free money to open up your business. When the young people go there, they're telling them, no, it's partly a grant and a loan that they give them to open up the business. Some of the same very young people tell me that their business went under, they cannot manage. Compare that to the UWP, which established the National Development Bank and that assisted young people with low-interest loans. And when they were giving those loans, they had people who would guide them as to how to make their business sustainable and what have you. That is the difference between a United Workers' Party and the St. Lucia Labour Party. Look at the SOS plan presented by Alan Chastney and the UWP. Free tuition for students entering Arthur Lewis Community College. Farmers who contributed to this economy and St. Lucia's development. Those farmers who never contributed to NIC would be getting a pension. The families who farmers have been are deceased, they would get a lump sum payment. You look at the 2.5% levy, the bogus 2.5% levy that Philippe imposed on the backs of St. Lucians, that St. Lucians are reeling under the pressure. That will be no more. Gas prices in the first 30 days under UWP government will go down so that the minibus drivers and the persons who drive and commute on a daily basis, they will get a little reprieve, a little soulagement at the pump when they fuel in their vehicles. And the list goes on and on. St. Lucians, the choice is clear as night must come today, or as day must come tonight. That the better political choice you should make right now is show your support and give your vote to the United Workers' Party. The St. Lucia Labour Party, it is clear.
Very good, Joe.
It is clear that they do not have a plan. They have never had a plan to govern this country. All what they did was to campaign at the last 2021 general election on deceit, lies, and propaganda. Look at the situation in the special prosecutor. How much is being paid to a special prosecutor right now? We do not know. So they hired a special prosecutor, paying this guy thousands of dollars, trying a political witch hunt to go after Guy Joseph and Alan Chastney. To date, over 2.5 years, the special prosecutor cannot find one single thing on Guy Joseph or one single thing on Alan Chastney. Yet still, we're paying a man to just sitting down in an office to do nothing. Meanwhile, there are people in the various constituencies or communities who are suffering, who cannot send their children to school, who cannot buy books for their school children, who cannot even pay the bus fare to send their kids to school. And you're paying a man to do nothing. St. Lucia, we can do better. The time will come when that bell is rung. The choice is clear. We are not staying with Philip JPA. We are voting the United Workers' Party. Have a blessed evening, St. Lucia, and I love you all.
Great show, great show. Thank to my contributors very well. But you know, that early morning I have to wake up. We cannot stay so late. But the viewers are there, 197 of you. Thank you all for coming. But 4 o'clock I have to wake up, get ready. So maybe in the next couple of months I'll change my schedule to start working at 9. I'll have that choice. Maybe 9. But that 4 o'clock, do my little thing. So have a great night, everyone, and enjoy this song while we go to bed. The choice is clear. Play on the air. Must go to here. I can't do it on my song. to the phone. How you connected and I not hear you? Supposed to hear you? Good night. Beautiful day. I'm going to sleep. But I have to sing that song. Bye-bye. Great show.
I was hurt and abused. What I was needing cut me deeper. You didn't see me, you only saw what I could give. I was broken and I forgot who I am. Someone say this is not you. I wanted out, but I didn't know. I didn't know. I didn't know. I didn't know what it could now. And that is the truth, Lord. I want none of it. I didn't know how lost I was. And every day I remember how you were. If I could talk to me, tell my head to restore my soul, God. It's my fault. If I could talk to me, tell my head to restore my life.
The choice is clear. We're going to vote out either.
I know what I could when I look in the mirror, I can still see my soul. My past, my present, my future all stands here. As I look deeper, ain't nothing but a stranger. Imposter, living my life. And I didn't know what else there was. A string on a puppet with no control of what it was. It's who I am, but it's not who I am. Because I am lost in a jail with a lot of realization. It's my belief. It's nothing but come back to me. Tell my head and restore my soul, God. It's my belief. It's nothing but come back to me. Tell my head and restore my life. I didn't know. I didn't know what I could have. I didn't know what I could have. I know that I'm never alone. In the midst of the darkness where God is with me. I know that I'm never alone. In the midst of the darkness where God is with me. When my legs are feeling numb, Jesus, I know. I know that I'm never alone. In the midst of the darkness where God is with me. I know that I'm never alone. In the midst of the darkness where God is with me.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. It was always nice. You like that song? Purchase it. It's by Cleopatra. Cleopatra. And this is the one I fall asleep with every night. That's the one I fall asleep to every night. Lord. Come on me.
One step closer. One step higher. You're calling me, and I'm saying, Lord, coming, Lord. Here I am, right where you want me.
I love y'all. Come back and see me next week. Y'all still watching? Y'all like the song?
Right now. Uncomfortable I am feeling because I'm not where I wanna be. A deep yearning makes me uneasy. A deep unrest down in my being, and it's pulling me. Said it's pulling me. One step closer, one step higher. You're calling me, and I'm saying Lord, I'm coming, Lord. Uncomfortable I am feeling because I'm not where I wanna be. A deep yearning makes me uneasy. A deep unrest down in my being. Fire shut up in my bones. Holy Spirit, breathe on me. One step closer. One step closer. One step
Good night. My love, man. Bye.